What is up, guys? Welcome back for another video. In this video, I want to talk about why you should stay broke for as long as possible. I know it's probably going to confuse some of you guys. What? Stay broke? I don't want to do that. But I'm going to explain myself, I promise. Let's get into it. Guys, so I'm coming to you guys from Bangkok, Thailand. If you guys see some of my past videos, you might have seen that I've left the US and I'm living overseas for, there's no set amount of time. I just wanted to switch it up. I'm not a one-dimensional person, so like pressure washing was and is a phase of my life, and I'm still involved in it because my brother is running it. But now I'm taking time to explore more areas of my life that I'm interested in, and traveling, and just involving myself in different cultures and experiences. But anyway, let's talk about why you should stay broke for as long as possible. What do I mean by that, and what is the point I'm trying to convey? Well, okay, so I've been alive for 25 years now. Obviously it's not old, but sometimes it feels old. But I have made plenty of mistakes, and the goal of this channel is for me, honestly, to share my mistakes to help you avoid making those same mistakes. And that's what I've done with all my pressure washing content, is to try to help people who are just getting started not go down the same path that I did and get to success faster. And I want to help people reach that in more than just one area, right? I feel like pressure washing kind of limits the reach I want to get, because I feel like I have a lot more to share. So honestly, the content on this channel will kind of be shifting away from like talking about pressure washing, but overall things like marketing, personal finance, and business and entrepreneurship. Not just like, very rarely will I even be talking about pressure washing as much anymore. I feel like I put out enough content for beginners and stuff like that to get started. I've created a bunch of resources. Side note, shameless plug, ebook and course are now pay what you want. So link below if you're looking to get started and you want some education, link below. Yeah, check it out. Anyway, but in those mistakes I've made in my 25 years of life, is I made a lot of financial mistakes, and I've had to learn certain things the hard way. And what I mean by I want to say stay as broke as long as possible is this. Oftentimes people are making a set amount of income, right? And then they somehow increase their income, whether it's through their job, they get a raise, better position, or it's a business, they start just doing more business or start a different business that's more profitable. And so they think, okay, you know what, I went from making $1,500 a month and now I'm making $3. And I went from 3 and now I'm making 5. And then what comes with those things all the time is always an increase in spending, right? So you're saying, you know what? Oh, I got more. Most people look at it like this. I got more money now, which means I got more money to spend, which means now I can, drive a nicer car, or live in a nicer home, or take nicer vacations, or buy nicer shoes. And while all these things are great, I'm not advocating against them. I've done a lot of these things. I've bought, but my past 2 car purchases were luxury cars. Now, with that being said, they were dumb purchases. I shared it on this channel before, but I had bought a Cadillac CTS. That purchase wasn't too bad because it wasn't too expensive of a car. But my next purchase was dumb, very dumb. I went from that car, it was a nice luxury car, but from there, after I paid that car off, right? I paid it off in way less time than the loan was for. So I paid a car off in like a year and a half. Because I just had a lot extra income, so I was like, and that was my goal. Like I was like, I don't want to barely pay any interest. So I'm gonna pay this car as fast as possible. But the dumb mistake I made was, after I paid that car off, when I should have just kept a paid off car, what did I do? No, I sold that car, and then bought a Mercedes. It was a nice car, but I bought a car that cost way more than what I had before, and it was stupid. Honestly, it was very stupid. I should have just kept my car that I had paid off. But these are the mistakes that people make. I'm young, whatever, dumb mistake, but I don't want you to make the same mistake or anything like that. What did I also do? I also moved from an apartment that I was splitting with my brother that was only costing me probably $300 a month. And then what did I do? I moved into a nicer apartment, luxury apartment, that was costing me $1,400 a month. Do y'all see the stupidity in this? It's honestly stupid. Now, could I afford it? Yes. It's making, a decent amount more than what my expenses were, but still, had I stayed low, had I stayed spending $300 a month in rent, and having no longer having a car note while still constantly increasing my income, the things I could have done, the opportunity cost to buying those things cost me a lot more, right? So yeah, quote, I could afford it, but it cost me so much more, because the disposable income that I could have been taking, without having a car payment, and with having, the difference between $300 a month and $1,400 a month in rent, that's a big difference. That money I could have taken and invested it in another business, or just put it even in an account that was producing interest, right, and paying me. Instead, I'm giving it out. And guys, what I'm gonna tell you is, like, as a young person, like, don't be in a rush to try to get to another level or try to impress or any of these things. It's honestly pointless. It is dumb, and it's only going to trap you and lock you into the system and turn you into a slave. And what I mean by that is, what I mean by a slave to the system is like where like you can't afford to stop working. You can't afford not to go to work. You can't afford to miss any days. You can't afford to even really take a deep breath and enjoy life because you got debt up into your, into your eyeballs, your nose deep in debt. And this is where most people mess up, right? The stress, the American dream, right? So many people, if your path, like my path, I was luckily able to avoid college debt, right? I avoided college debt, didn't go to college, still was able to, to do well in business. Or when I say well, it's very subjective, right? But boom, didn't do that. But most people, they start off like the system traps you by, okay, you go to college, you get, you have to get a degree, right? Or else you won't make it. Boom, now you're X amount of dollars in debt, just starting off your life. Now, well, you're out of college now, so, you gotta buy a home, so boom. Or, you get married, boom, home, kids, need a vehicle. Oh, well, we gotta start saving for kids' college. And boom, before you know it, you're trapped in all this debt, all these expenses, living paycheck to paycheck. And what is freedom, right? I don't think you can have freedom without having financial freedom, because freedom is the ability to make choices. But not just make choices, choosing between two bad things, but the ability to choose between things that like are going to make you happier, are going to improve your life. And so most people, while they might live in the US, whatever, and say like, oh, land of the free, you're not actually free as you think you are, because you are a slave to the system, because you've gotten yourself in so much debt. You've trapped yourself. Don't make this mistake. Stay broke for as long as possible. Keep your expenses low. So I want to kind of touch back on to the beginning when I said I'm living in Thailand now. I am experimenting now with a different way of life. And the reason why I chose Thailand is because the cost of living is a lot less than the US. So I've done away with I no longer own a vehicle. I no longer live in a $1,500, $1,400 a month apartment. I no longer have all the expenses that came with the US. I've literally cut my expenses into pretty much a fourth of what I was paying living in the US. I can rent somewhere here for $300 a month. I don't own a car because public transportation and using like Grab, which is their version of Uber, is so cheap. My average ride costs me between $2 to $4 to get around town. Gas costs me more than that alone. So I'm telling you this to say that, look, hey, I've made mistakes. I just want to open your mind up. I'm not telling you what to do. But if you're smart, if you start a business, whether you start a business or not, I want you to think every time you get $1 in, how can I turn this dollar into more? Because the system wants you to take that dollar and immediately give it back to them, right? So you can remain a slave to the system. The smart thing to do, if you're gonna, please take this bit of wisdom, is every time you get in $1, before you think of going out and buying a new pair of shoes or buying a new car or going out spending it on drinks, I want you to think to yourself, what can I do that could possibly benefit me more than what I'm about to spend this money on? Because this is how you want to turn your dollars into employees for you. Most people are working for money when money should be working for you, right? So consider, or just do more research. Figure out, if you don't have a business right now or side hustle, figure out what side hustle can you start investing in that won't cost you a ton of money. Figure out, even on the most basic level, take $100 a month, $50 a month, whatever you got, and put it into, go buy an EFT or ETF, electronically traded fund, an ETF. Go buy an ETF. Have some money in the stock market a little bit. That's like not too risky. Put it into a Roth IRA. Put it into a business. Start, an Airbnb business, or start something. I don't care what business you start, but I want you to start something where your money is making money for you. And once you are making more money, act like it's not there. Act like if you were starting off making $1,000 a month and your income jumps to $5,000, stay living like you make $1,000. That is where freedom will come in. And I'm not telling you to, never buy a cup of coffee. That's not what I'm not giving you Dave Ramsey advice where I'm not saying don't enjoy life. Don't ever take a vacation, because I'd be lying to you if I said something like that. I believe that, like I said, freedom for me isn't about, and I realized, well, before I say this, I want to say that after, having had nice things and upgrading my life, I realized that those things didn't really make me any happier. What I really enjoy and true freedom for me is the ability to be anywhere in the world and still make money, be around amazing people and build up a nice network of people, good friends, good relationships. That's what I value more than just physically nice things. Nice things will come, but you want to get them the right way, right? And so what I want to end this video with is, in saying all I've said about, don't increase your cost of living, stay low, stay broke as long as you can. What I want to end with is this. Every time you want something nicer or something nice you want to upgrade, follow this way of thinking first. Because I'm not advocating on not getting nice things, like I said. What I am advocating on, though, is build an income stream for every new thing you want. So do the math, right? So you want to buy a new car that's going to cost you $350 a month in car payment, right? Because I don't advocate buying cars in cash. If you have a good credit score and if you have the money in the bank, why would you spend the cash? People are going to argue me on that, but I say take the loan terms if it's reasonable and it's smart, because you can honestly come off better, but that could be a whole other video. Anyway, so say we're going to get this car payment. It's going to cost us $350 a month. But I don't want you to take that. If you want to get it, fine. But before you buy it, create a new income stream to cover the cost. And if you can't figure that part out, then you shouldn't be buying a new car. So what I'm saying is this. Say right now you don't have a pressure washing business, but you want a new car, and your car is going to cost you, let's say, between $350 and $500. I'm just going to give it more room. Say it costs more, right? Now, I want you to, just for example purposes, because I have knowledge in this area, start a pressure washing business as a side hustle and make it your goal to make an extra $600 to $700 a month. So the cost of starting a business that's going to produce you that much, you're not going to spend that much, right? I just did have a recent video on how to start a pressure washing business for $500 or less to test the market out. But instead of buying that car, you're going to create the business first that then produces the income to pay for the car. If you do that, this is how you trick yourself into being able to afford everything. Well, I don't want to say it's not really tricking yourself, but this is how you can afford the things you want to buy. Is not by doing what everyone else does, is by, oh, I have this one stream of income and now I'm going to, all my expenses are going to come out of this. That's not the smart thing to do. Instead, you create a new stream for every time you want something new. So if you want to buy something, figure out, okay, I have to turn my income into more before I can buy this. You want to buy a pair of shoes and cost you $100? Take $100, turn it into $2, and then go buy the sneakers. If you can practice this way of thinking and money management, you will eventually achieve financial freedom. Please, if you are young, please take my advice. I promise you, I would never do anything on this channel that is going to put you in a bad situation. I want you to avoid bad situations, stressful situations. Most people in life live their life stressing about money, and that's no way to live. So please take this advice, guys. Start side hustles. I mean, even for goodness sakes, on the level of deliver for DoorDash, drive for Uber, as a side income to pay for the thing you want. So if you want to if you want to buy a new car, go drive Uber to cover the cost. DoorDash every weekend to cover the costs. On a basic, simple level. Start delivering pizzas. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Stay humble, right? Stop caring about what other people think. That's the biggest trap you can set yourself into, is caring what other people think about your situation. Oh man, what brand shoes are those? You're not rocking blah, 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 so you're lame. You're driving a blank. Who gives a damn about the opinion of anyone else, guys? You got to start just thinking about yourself and what matters to you, what's important to you, what are your goals and objectives. The biggest way to like ruin your life is to care too much about what others think and do things for the pleasure of, to be able to brag or, to flex on others. Stupid, 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 stupid. Don't do it. Don't do it. Real freedom is having a paid off car that you're not stressing about. Real freedom is the ability to take a vacation, but maybe you choose not to because you can use that money to turn it into start a business or invest it and then take the vacation. That's true freedom. Most of this stuff you see on social media, it's fake anyway. It's fake, right? So don't fall for it. Build smart financial habits young. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a comment and a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I will be putting out more content like this out because I feel like like I said earlier, I have a lot more value to add, and I feel like, by just talking about pressure washing, it really limits the people I want to reach. So if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content like this, do me that solid and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned, guys. I will see you guys in this video. Peace out.